Man.
He is the man.
Anthony Michael Hall.
He's
in
there.
As this,
He's
as
there.
this random badass out of nowhere.
Yeah. Who knew?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Johnny
now,
be good too.
Now, Mix Macabre over there and I got to check out Justice League Dark.
Sure did. Featuring my second favorite problematic bisexual.
Oh, Swamp Thing? All right. Justice League Dark is a story of there's an uproar in the world of magic once again. And John Constantine, is that the name you were going to say?
Oh, yes.
John Constantine, brought to fame by Keanu Reeves.
With Constantine.
I love him so very much.
I'm a big fan of Keanu Reeves, too. Yeah, I'm glad you agree.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, real quick aside, though.
Yes.
The world of the Keanu Reeves movie with Matt Ryan Constantine in it is perfect Hellblazer. So I cannot hate on the 2005 Constantine. Okay. I like it for what it is, so I will not sit here and have you take shots at it.
I was trying to rile you up.
It's mad good. I love that movie.
No, Adam will tell you. I like that movie too.
I think we all did. I didn't really think it was
getting to this one, I without a doubt honestly think this is the best Constantine related media made yet.
Yeah, this was really good. And
really good.
I like that John Constantine was brought to the forefront, not played as a background character. This is a story heavily featuring Batman. And you'd think, main Justice Leaguer, they're going to throw him in the middle.
So for those unfamiliar with what this is, it's basically Justice League Dark is all of the ooky spookies kind of the DC universe plus Batman.
Yeah.
So you had Deadman. Deadman was so good. Boston Brand, he was so good. It was also they gave Deadman's backstory because he's a little bit more of an obscure character than the others. They gave his backstory in 2 minutes and it was perfect. And it just, everything I felt was really succinctly done for a movie. And just to go on a quick tangent of it, I genuinely think this is one of DC's strongest films in general, not just animated features. It felt really tightly wrapped, tightly done. And its choice of characters were really interesting to me.
No, I concur. And let me see if I can take a side note to maybe have a quick moment of bonding here. Up until now, I'm the only person I know I've ever met that's actually bought a Deadman
friend, I have purchased a Deadman comic.
Yes! Right there. This is why we're friends.
Who?
Oh, come on. Don't do his name is Boston.
No, but what I also love though is, this had Jason Blood / Etrigan, and what really was interesting to me is it kind of acted as an origin story for Jason Blood and Etrigan being together. And I don't want to give any spoilers for the ending or anything, but it frames things. There was a really good bookend to the film, and the characters used were all really interesting.
Yes, they were.
And I feel that it incorporated Batman in a way that wasn't just, the straight man, if you will. There's too easy to take a film that relies on magic, and Batman is notoriously not anti-magic, but very there's always a scientific explanation.
Well, that's the thing that bugged me, because I've got several issues, and even in the cartoons past, it's shown that Batman is one of the few Justice Leaguers. I guess
believes
Batman
in magic. Completely believes in magic.
He believes, and he's respected by the community. This one had him as pretty much an outsider.
Which I was okay with this though, because I feel like he not, I don't want to say he warms to magic, but he sticks with there's always a logical explanation for everything, but he also doesn't crap on the magic users.
Are we talking about the card game?
Why are you
you're a mess,
Sorry,
dude.
that was a bad joke.
No, but part of the things that I thought was really interesting about this is that this was a adult movie. This was not
a kiddie movie.
A kiddie movie. Something that I recently reviewed for you was I'm blanking Justice League Action.
Yes.
And it used Constantine in I thought a really funny way where he was hit by an accent exaggerator spell. It's really goofy, really funny, and it was super cute and I loved it. But this was one of the first ways that we could really see John Constantine, even more so than the TV series that came out recently.
That means take the elevator up.
That
7th inning stretch.
It really showed him in this context of magic is brutal and evil and heavily tied into literally Satan and hell.
Yes.
And this is something that's
did not
really
shy
constant.
away from that aspect of it either.
Not at all. And it's very
straight
constant.
Mentioned hell, straight mentioned demons.
There's portals to hell that open up and drag someone's soul down there. It's terrifying.
Yes.
And also the movie begins, and this is not a spoiler, it's the first moments of the film. The basic premise is that something is causing waking nightmares to affect otherwise good citizens in a way that they are committing heinous acts.
Heinous acts that are shown on
camera. The very first scene is a woman in her car driving down DC trying to escape what she believes are demons, but of course are not. They're actual just pedestrians, and she's mowing them down.
Oh, spoilers!
And it's the first minute of the movie, dude. And it's just something that, you know, going into it, I then of course, you know, it's rated appropriately and everything, but you're so used to either excessive violence for violence's sake in superhero films or things being kind of toned or watered down. And this was a really good balance of, yes, there was some brutality in this. There was, you know, there's another, I won't get into it, but there was another person affected by this kind of waking nightmare that did some really heinous things. And Superman is the one who discovered it, which I thought was a really good foil to the horrors, having this kind of like really good force for good. And they don't shy away from showing this brutal and fairly graphic for an animated feature content, but it doesn't feel like it's shocking for shock value. It felt that it was incorporated in the plot and necessary to the plot.
Yes.
And that's something that I really appreciated from DC, because I feel there's a big disconnect between their live action features and their animated features.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And that this almost treats the audience more intelligently. I did not feel anything was spoon-fed to me.
Seems a little backwards in that.
Yeah, usually, and I mean, Marvel also has some incredible animated features, but obviously their strong suit are their live action films. And I'm obviously biased again. I'm much more of a Marvel fan, but I have followed a lot of these characters for years. I'm a huge Zatanna fan, and
I don't get that. Chaos Comics all day. I'm glad you brought those up. This was
really interesting use of more adult material in a way that didn't just feel this weird. You know, we've talked about the Snyderverse of this like grim dark, everything desaturated.
Why's it got to be green?
This movie,
so much green.
This movie was very colorful. For something called Justice League Dark, it didn't feel dark in that way. It felt like an actual dark mirror to the Justice League, and it felt like a superhero film.
Yes,
and that I was watching magic user superheroes.
And I like that it was Justice League, but Justice League Dark. They showed Superman. They showed Wonder Woman.
You see the key members, but they're not the main characters.
Yeah, they're not crowbarred in. It's like, oh, well, we got to go back to, we got to talk about Krypton. Oh, my God, it's Kryptonite. We got to get the expert involved. No, none of that.
Just the basic, played out, the basic plot was also just very intriguing. You know, again, I'm not going to spoil it for those out there, but it has some interesting twists to it. It never felt forced.
Proper use of characters too. Swamp Thing wasn't just
Swamp
there to,
Thing is in it, and it's amazing.
Swamp Thing's in it, really.
Swamp Thing's in it, awesome. And it's so good. And something I really appreciated also is you can watch this movie. I rewatched it yesterday, but the first time I saw it was right when it was released last year. It was this movie technically came out in last winter, and I watched it with someone that had. Well, technically, in that, like, it's just out. You can just get it. It's not like it was out in theaters.
No, it's from the Bay.
But I watched it with a friend. I watched it with a friend who had only a very basic understanding of these characters and doesn't really know anything about the overlap of the characters, and was able to follow the plot of it without an issue. And if you do understand these characters and you know the backstory, particularly things like Constantine's relationship with Zatanna, Constantine's relationship with Swamp Thing, it's just over the top amazing, but you don't need excessive content and backstory to go into this.
No, you do not. One thing that kind of irked me, and I guess it probably would have been a little too on the nose. I was really wondering why we didn't see Dr. Fate at all. Dr. Fate never showed up. You know Dr. Fate?
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty much DC's answer to Doctor Strange, and Dr. Fate is the primary magic user. You have a look on your face. What's going on?
We'll talk off air.
We'll talk off air. Okay, all right.
I don't want to say anything that's a major spoiler.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I was surprised, but dude, I still enjoyed the whole hell out of this.
Where'd you watch it?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I watched it at home, dude. It's available.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a copy?
You want a copy?
Yeah.
Okay, I will get you a copy.
Thank you.
It's very good.
It is.
Well, one time I came here, I don't remember when it was, but I was like ranting something about John Constantine, and I'm just like reaches into his bag and like takes out this like Hellblazer omnibus that was just in his bag at that exact moment.
Was reading up, yeah. Had the Swamp Thing episodes in there.
I really feel like these are being done by fans now. That's one thing that I really appreciate, and I'm hoping we see more. We heard rumors of the Justice League live action movie was going to focus on the Justice League Dark characters for a long time. Well, I mean, I thought they were going to do it.
It'll be a cold day in hell before you see John Constantine in the movies again.
It would have been a good turn to take, and if they'd used the Keanu Reeves John Constantine, I wouldn't be upset by that. They could play off that universe and have actual characters with a legit budget do a good live action movie. We've seen it done before, and DC has they have the ability when they're not trying to force feed us random stories to blatantly compete with their Marvel, and just try to give us good stories, which they have had.
Yeah.
So I think this is a step in the right direction. At the very least, the animated universe is still killing it.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend anyone check this out. It's called Justice League Dark. And am I alone in this?
I don't think so.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, absolutely.
And I'll know next week.
And you'll know next week.
You got to bring me a copy, bro.
Dude, hey, man, we'll have a retrospective, and you can give us your thoughts.
All
right, Johnny, none for you.
Aww.
All right, well, we are just about out of time. This has been the Geek Down here on WEMF Radio. I hope you enjoyed everything you heard. We're on every Monday nights, 9 p.m. right here on WEMF.